Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? We are back after a long summer break. We took time off because of work and mini vacations with the kids and with each other, and basically because we just needed some time to
Did
recharge.
we get a vacation together?
We didn't get shit. So we are
got
back.
Paid. That's what we got. We work a whole summer.
Yeah, I've
so,
been working
yeah.
a lot of extra overtime. So we are a little out of practice. This is going to be a horrible episode. So stay tuned.
I mean, worse than normal?
So we're going to talk about what happened over the summer, not just with us, but kind of on a global scale without being political or anything.
We are?
Yeah, why the fuck not?
All right, cool.
And we definitely want to hear what you did this summer, whether it was work, going on vacations. We're going to talk about stuff we want to do in the future.
Yeah.
And if you've done it, we can definitely use some insight. We'll touch base about that here in a little while. First off, let's get our sponsors out of the way so we can move forward. As always, we are sponsored by 5x5 Brewing Company. They are Battle-born, Texas-made veteran brewing company based in Mission, Texas, co-founded by Army veteran George Rice, with beers like the 40 millimeter stout, which I'm going to drink tonight. The Brunette Bombshell Foo-Bar. It's no surprise this brewery is taking over the Texas markets from the Valley all the way up into West Texas now. They're working in the Panhandle. By the end of this year, they're going to be all over the state of Texas, and they're going to be national by next summer is what they're hoping
Good for you.
So make sure you go check your local bar, grocer, and restaurant, see if they have it. If they don't, ask for it. All the distributors have access to it in the state of Texas. So you can find more information about them at 5x5brewing.com, facebook.com/5x5brewing. You can call them directly at 956-445-5421 or info at 5x5brewing.com. And then all of our podcast editing and distribution is done by Knucklehead Media Group.
You poor things. You poor things.
Yep, they have to put up with our shit show weekly. It's founded by Marine veteran Stephen Colon. They cover all your podcasting and media needs, from audio and video editing to strategy planning to global online distribution. This professional team of experts take your idea and make it a reality while providing the knowledge and experience to help you grow your audience and reach. You can find them at knucklehead.agency or Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's all Knucklehead MG, no spaces, no underscores, no dashes or slashes. Yeah, those guys have really helped us get our shit together, so we seem somewhat more professionalish than we do.
No dashes, no slashes.
No dashes, no slashes. I didn't mean for
That's
that
cute.
to. That just kind of happened. Yeah, I had a good moment.
Welcome to Southpaw's Tales from the Birds, where there's no dashes, no slashes. No.
So if you are watching and you want to comment, make sure you go to StreamYard.com and give them permission to see your name. Otherwise, all we're going to see is Facebook user, and we're not going to acknowledge your existence, period.
Well, we aren't anyway, because this is pre-recorded.
Yeah, this one is pre-recorded. Hopefully in a couple weeks we'll be live again. We have to work around our schedules. We'll talk about that briefly, what's going on in our lives momentarily. You can go check out all of our old episodes at YouTube or any of your favorite podcasting platforms, Apple, Spotify, iTunes, all of them.
All of the things.
Don't forget to like and share this stream wherever you are watching it or listening to it. And tonight we're going to be doing something we've never done before. We're going to be doing hot sake.
Yes.
I got some to cook on the flat top griddle when I was making some hibachi type shit and cooking with it. And I'm like, hey, let's.
And it's kind of our
sake.
jam. Like, we like to go to hibachi restaurants or sushi restaurants, and we always get our own drinks, but then we always get a hot sake to share. And they put it in a ceramic container.
So
how fancy is
this? Is an antique.
It's one of
ceramic
Jamie's family's ones that his mom gave.
I have no clue where it came from. It's just kind of been passed around.
Yes.
Don't know the age of it.
We have the whole set, actually. We have a gravy bowl. We've got a serving tray, pitcher, teapot, as you can see. We've got a lot.
So it's our sake pot now.
It's a sake pot.
So what we're doing, this is it's about $15-$16 at the local liquor store. It's I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Geiken. Actually, I am going to try.
Geico.
Yeah.
Gecko.
Gaikon. It's sake, black and gold. It's a 15.6% ABV. It is, even though it's a Japanese sake, it is made in America.
I think it's Gaikon.
It's made in California.
We're gonna pronounce it real bad.
We're just gonna pronounce it different every time we say it. But let's go ahead and start off with a little shot here. And it is hot, so we're probably gonna pour it and let it sit for a second. So
No, maybe not. I mean, it's been sitting there
Oh, no,
during
it's-
the
it's
lead up
still
and
steaming.
stuff. Is it?
yeah,
Dude,
it's
It did not take long to heat up whatsoever. And then the handle is actually cool.
is it still pretty hot?
I mean, it's hot. It's not hot. It's not too hot for my mouth, but it's probably too hot for your mouth.
So
Because I like to drink lava
yeah, just like her shower.
on the OG basis.
We can't shower together because her shower is 4,000 degrees warmer than mine.
I have frozen pieces. They need to be thawed. What do you want from me?
Your soul, your heart.
No, I just mean in general, I'm cold. I'm just cold natured. But yes.
All right. So we've never.
Ma vagina. JD's got to chisel the ice off before we have sex. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I'm usually freezing my ass off. So I need.
So let's try this up. We've never actually tried this brand outside of me using it to cook with on the griddle. So let's see.
I'm scared.
All right. Salud.
Okay, that's actually really good.
That is a lot better than I was expecting, especially for the price tag.
Yeah.
$15 for liquor. That's 15%.
We've had some that I drink and I'm like, whoa, but that's actually pretty good.
So it's been about 2.5 months since our last episode.
Really?
Yeah, it's been
Holy
quite a while.
shrizamins.
Kids were out of school. We've been working a ton of extra overtime at work, mandatory, because that's how life goes. You took up
for you.
You picked up a second job.
Kind of, yeah. So I'm actually transitioning.
You're getting a wiener?
My unit? No, not the. Oh, no, not that kind of transition. So my unit got bought out by a different hospital
By unit,
company.
do you mean wiener?
Stop it. Unit drink got bought out by a different company. That other company has hired me and promoted me. So whenever they buy my unit drink, and they take it over here in a few months, I will be the manager as opposed to just the supervisor. So that's actually a promotion for me. It's more money for me, a better schedule, Monday through Friday. So no more 12-hour shifts. What? Suck it. So yeah, I'm really excited. But if I'm not at one job working 12-hour shifts, I'm at the other job trying to like buy equipment or, do interviews and hire staff and have meetings. And it's a lot. But I realize that my current job, I like it. But my new job, I love it. I'm like totally thriving on the chaos that is creating this new baby, this new unit.
Oh,
it's awesome.
In general, you thrive on chaos.
I really
if shit is running smooth,
I'm freaking out.
You have to have something go wrong to feel normal again. And it is so stressful.
If all hell breaks loose, I'm actually very calm. It's really odd, which is why I wanted like 13 kids, because I thought, man, I would be that mom who had her shit together.
We have 3 and we struggle.
There and high, and I know. Well, I didn't plan on them being spread out as much. If we had been able to just pop out baby after baby.
What, you wanted like
I think
Irish octuplets or something?
That would have been not octuplets. I don't want to have that many at one time.
No. Irish like Irish twins, how they're born within 12 months of each other, but it's like, every 11 months pop out another one.
Yeah.
Have one in every grade.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
Can you imagine the fundraisers you'd have to do? Like,
no.
Hey, I needed to buy 17 fucking bullshit cookie dough packages from me.
I wouldn't be able to afford jack shit with their anythings. But I think the chaos of it, the kids running around the house, like anytime we have family gatherings with my family, you're losing your mind because you're overstimulated. And I'm sitting there as cool as a cucumber, perfectly fine, because I love it. Because I mean, there's 12 grandchildren on my side. There's 12 grandchildren. So when they all get together, I love it. I love it.
I segregate myself.
He can't.
I can't deal with that much.
He can't deal with
There's
that much.
no fucking way.
So yeah.
So this summer we had our plans. We were gonna do
New Mexico.
A really cool vacation. We were planning on going to New Mexico, and then we were gonna go to Colorado. There was in southwestern corner of Colorado, there's a tiny little town called Lake City.
Yes.
Some people may know it, some people don't, most people don't, but 7 miles outside of Lake City is this meadow that my family used to camp at every summer, and it's public land, so it's free to go camp there. There's a cabin that's been standing there since the 1880s, I believe. I think it's like 1883 is when it was made. It was Pike Snowden was the guy that built this cabin. He ended
I
up
can't
dying.
believe you remember all of that. I don't remember shit from my childhood.
But you see these new bottles on the background here. If you're watching and not listening, each one of these bottles represents somebody that passed away in my life. One of them is my brother. I bought that beer for him after he passed away, and now it's here. That way I can always have a beer with him. But that meadow is where we spread my brother's ashes.
Yes.
And I also have a tiny urn that I hid in one of the mines right outside of that cabin. And I was going to take my kids and my wife there to see where I grew up camping. We were going to go to Eagle's Nest and Angel Fire, New Mexico.
In New Mexico, my parents are renting a cabin in Eagle's Nest. We've been to Angel's Fire. We actually went there to visit his grandmother who lives in Albuquerque, and then we drove to Angel's Fire where his sister had rented a house, a cabin big enough for the entire family. We went whitewater rafting. The kids played. We hiked, and we went down. We went into the ski lifts.
Yeah, what's cool about the ski lifts is during the off season, they're all bicycle trails where the skiers are in the wintertime, which I thought was cool as hell.
Biking trails and hiking trails. Yes, we went hiking there.
So we had all this planned, and we were even thinking about going from there to Missouri to Lake of the Ozarks, where we went last summer, because that was the first time I'd ever been there. It was absolutely fucking gorgeous.
So much fun.
That was one of the only vacations in my entire life where I didn't want to come home, because generally on the last day you're like, let's get the fuck out of here.
We did that this year.
We drug our feet.
But we stayed there 8 days at
and
the Ozarks, and we didn't want to leave. And then they were like, well, you come back next year, and we're like, and honestly, and then with my parents being in Eagle's Nest, it's right down the road from Taos, where we went whitewater rafting, which we were planning on doing with my dad this year. My mom was willing to watch the 2 younger boys because it's kind of not her jam. But yeah, I mean, we had plans.
So,
but gas prices.
Not getting political. Fuck you, Brandon.
But the gas prices deterred us. So how you calculated it? How much was it going to cost us to get to New Mexico
and not for just New Mexico, but from New Mexico to Colorado and back, excluding the Missouri part.
Yes.
Would have been over $1,000 in fuel.
And to us
at the time, and that was
for
a lot of our
$1,000 for just gas, not all the fun things and
eating
out
and just to and
housing
from.
Or whatever. For $1,000 here in Texas to make and have daycations, we could do a lot more with that money. So we decided to stay local.
So we're going to talk about some of the stuff we did this summer. Give you some ideas if you are from Texas, places you can visit if you haven't. If you're not from Texas, places you can visit if you haven't. And also, if you know anywhere or you did something this summer, we definitely want to hear what you did, because we're always looking for fun trips with the family.
Absolutely. We love we call them daycations. Those are usually to
the
us,
overnighters,
like
the
2 or 3 day trips. So when we say daycation, we don't mean just for the day. We mean 2 or 3 day trips. Something that we could do on an extended weekend with the kids, which is perfect for our lifestyle. So,
and we definitely like budget too.
Yes, please.
Because we pull white trash.
Yeah. If there's like some off the beaten trail place you like to go that's cheap, but it's so much fun or so interesting or fascinating historically, JD would love that. My boys would love that. They love historical, any sites of all kinds. Me, it's growing on me. I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I would say that it's bearable. So
I think what I've done to really help you enjoy the historical sites like I do is like get in the mindset of the people that were there at the time that whatever event happened. And I think that really helps.
I think what helps is you always make it interesting for me, because you're like, Kat likes haunted things. So I'm going to look up folklore. I like mythical things. Like I'm more of like that kind of fantasy environment. Like that's kind of books I read.
Mythical things like the clit and an orgasm.
Okay, the clit exists.
No, that's a mythical
exists. Both of those exist. Just because you haven't seen them in a while doesn't mean they don't exist. No, so JD always finds up like folklore because he knows that would fascinate me more than the actual historical events, which is kind of funny. And I probably have a problem, but still, he always makes it interesting and looks up like either like the hauntings or the folklore or the myths or the legends, so that I'm intrigued also. So I like that.
Since you brought up the hauntings and stuff, we'll talk about the second part of our vacation first, just because it's the perfect segue. So
perfect.
one of our daycations we did. It was just an overnighter to San Antonio, Texas.
Yes.
San Antonio just steeped with history, all back to the 1600s. And we went and we stayed at the Crockett Hotel, which is one of the 3 main haunted hotels in.
Yes, there's the Emily Morgan. There's the Meanger, right?
Yeah, Meanger,
and then the Crockett Hotel.
So we stayed at the Crockett. I was wanting to get in at the Meanger, but their computer system was being retarded, so I couldn't. The Meanger is actually the most haunted hotel in San Antonio, one of the most haunted in the nation, outside of Stanley Hotel, some of the ones you've seen on all the ghost hunting shows. There's 32 quote unquote confirmed spirits that roam the halls there, and it is right next door to the chapel that stands at the Alamo, and the chapel is what everybody knows as the Alamo, with the cool little roof line and everything. The Alamo was actually much larger than that. It was a full mission, where there was a 13-day siege in 1835, massacre at the end. I can go on and on and on about the history of it, but right where the Meanger stands is where the Texians' bodies were burned.
Yes.
And
burned and partially buried.
They just threw them all in a pile, non-ceremonious, just said fuck these Texians, because back then it was Texian and not Texan. Another stupid history trivia bullshit for you.
Oh, I'm totally gonna get a shirt that says Texian on it and see what people say.
So, like, he misspelled it.
So yeah, we went and we stayed at the haunted hotel. We did
a haunted tour, and that was with the Sisters Grimm. And it is very there is some historical background to each thing that they talk about, and each location they take you to. And it's a walking tour. They also have a bus tour.
About 2 hours.
Yeah, and they do have a bus tour, which is more money, but we do the walking tours because we like that. It's just our jam. We have been on tours before where they give you like equipment to check for like, EMFs or whatever, but they didn't do that. So theirs was more like, okay,
theirs is more myth
this is
and
the historical
lore.
History behind it, and this is our experiences, and this is the lore. And this girl seemed to have an experience at every place, which makes it less believable.
She had,
I think,
not just experiences as like something brushed my hair, or
what's that other place that RPM
it was the RJA, which is who we want to try next time.
We're gonna go next time because we went and talked to RJA Ghost Tours there, and theirs seems more historically
scientific,
accurate, because they actually go through classes to become a certified historical
I think it was ambassador or something like that.
Ambassador. You actually have to go through classes
through the
city. So, and they are the only ghost tour in San Antonio that have gone through those classes. So to me, it seems like it would be more historically accurate. And
they also look at it from a paranormal point of view, scientifically.
Yes.
It's a pseudoscience.
They actually have equipment you can use.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's more, I think, what I would.
But we also went to the Meanger Bar.
Yes, we did.
Which is supposedly haunted by Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. There you go.
And you talk about the Rough Riders and things like that, and he comes in because Teddy Roosevelt used to frequent that bar and the Meanger Hotel, which is it's attached to, and outside of the haunting and the history and everything like that, if you just like craftsmanship and just
the bar is,
oh my god, just the way that it was
of hand carved wood. It is
hardwood,
gorgeous,
just scroll work. I mean, just the quality.
And we've been to this bar before. We actually went and smoked a cigar and drank brandy, and that was the first time I got to smoke a cigar and drink brandy. It was in that bar, and so
you can't smoke cigars in there anymore. That was a long time ago with the city ordinance, but yeah, it used to be a cigar bar at the same time.
That's not the point. The point is, it broke my brandy and cigar cherry right there in the Meanger Bar.
So then, once we did the tour and all that stuff, the Meanger Hotel being one of the most haunted places, and it's a very classy hotel.
And because we were staying at the Crockett and their sister hotels, you can
roam the halls.
Range of both hotels.
Yeah, as long as you don't disturb the guests, like you're not screaming in the hallway and running and jumping and shit like that, you can be in there until 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, just roaming the halls with your camera, your recording devices, whatever you have. and try to catch some spirits.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I didn't catch anything. I didn't see anything. I took about 400 pictures, and I
haven't
didn't
gone
see
through
shit.
all of my recordings.
I've gone through all my pictures. I didn't go through the recordings.
I've gone through the pictures,
but there was one, and the way we did it is okay. Let me paint you a picture of how the setup is. You get the first floor is kind of a maze, with all the different lobbies and stuff. You get to the second floor. Second, third, and fourth floor are all the hotel rooms. First floor is shopping, restaurants, bar, things like that. So you get to the second floor, and it's kind of just a big square as far as the hallways go, or a big rectangle
where the balconies are overlooking. But that's not all the rooms. The rooms actually keep going.
Yeah, so you walk down a long hallway, and then you take a left, and you walk down a hallway, you take a left, you walk down a hallway, you take a left, and then you're back where you started. So what we were doing is one person at a time would walk all the way down and take that left at the very end, and then the next person would start walking. That way everybody was by themselves. There's no sound pollution, anything like that. And there was what was it, the third floor where there was
the atrium goes from the first floor up to the fourth floor, where all the balconies, you wrap around this large open area where you can look down. The ceiling was absolutely gorgeous. It was like
stained and painted
glass with light behind it. And I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. So you wrap around this area and you come back to that wide open atrium. So by the time you get back to the atrium, that's where the echo is. Everything else is carpeted. There's walls.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of sound carry it was gigantic, just in that atrium area.
But there was one hallway where every single one of us had the same problem, where it just felt like the room was closing, or the hallway was closing in on you, just very uneasy.
And it was one floor, one hallway. And actually
everybody had the same.
What I described it on my recording as, it was like, oh, Deegan's coming up on me. I can hear him. I can hear him walking right behind me. Like I can hear him, and like I can feel him. And like I keep walking and keep looking behind me, and like I can hear him. I can feel him. Like, and I keep walking. I get basically to the end of the hallway, and then I see him. So it was not him, but I swear I heard someone right behind me. I could feel him. You know how you can feel someone staring at you.
On my recording, you can I'm walking. I didn't say anything. I didn't try to do anything. I just recorded with my camera phone, walking, and I didn't say anything the whole time except for, the fuck was that? In one spot where it was just that feeling was just, and it was like instantaneous. And as soon as I passed that area, it was like calm and normal again. Like everything was fine.
And you could actually, like, I listened to it multiple times, and the boys helped. I don't know if I let you listen to it or not. You can actually hear someone walking. Like you can hear my footsteps. You can hear someone else's footsteps because they're at a different cadence. And I was like, see, it's not just me. I heard someone walking behind me, and the whole time I thought it was just Deegan. But
let's do this shot.
Yeah, man.
What do you say? All right, solid.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're absolutely fucking ghost nerds, and it's carried on to our kids. Like, our 7-year-old is not scared of ghosts or spirits or any of that shit.
Our 14-year-old, for his 15th birthday, he wants to go and do the overnight haunted tours of the Yorktown Memorial Hospital with us,
which we've done before.
Which we have. Awesome. We've done before without the kids, obviously. I don't know what the age limit is, so y'all, I might be lying. I might be fibbing.
We might just keep them in the car until they leave.
Or I'll just fib. And I mean, he's tall. He's tall. He's as tall as JD almost now.
That motherfucker's got bigger feet than me already. I'm like,
huge.
Jesus.
Just kid's huge.
He's
and
gonna be like 6'4".
He eats crazy amount of food. So I'm
a fat piece of shit, and he eats three times as much as me.
Because of his height alone, I might be able to pass him off as whatever age
16
they
or
require.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So I think
what's cool about that is I've got that 12 camera DVR system with the IR cameras that I have not set up yet. So we'll be able to set that up.
Mom and Dad, if you're watching, I know you want to go. And I think my sister Amanda wants to go as well. Any of our friends who are out there,
if any of you that are watching, if you want to go with us, if we can schedule
put
something.
It on there.
I definitely want to wait until like November or December, because
November.
There's no air conditioning, anything like that. And so if it is
cool off a bit.
Yeah, when we went last time, we had to go. There's access to the roof. It's a flat roof. There's access that we had to go stand out there a couple times just to get air.
We went stagnant at the beginning of November, and it was still just warm and muggy
and stagnant.
Yeah.
The
so
stagnant
we would
is what
love
gets you.
to go. I think December and January might be a little too cold. So we're thinking November. So if you're available in November, we'll even hopefully put a shout out soon, let you know what days that tentatively that we're thinking of. But let us know if you want to join us.
And
it's gonna be in
just as
Yorktown, Texas.
As a reminder, if you're just now tuning in, we're talking about what we did over the summer with the kids and by ourselves. Let us know what you did over the summer, because we're always looking for ideas for vacations, road trips, etc. And as you can tell, if it's haunted, we're definitely wanting to go.
Yes.
Yes. But let's talk about the other part of the vacation trip we did.
So every year we go to the river.
And why do we go to the river?
Because it's my birthday and that's my happy place. So my happy place is just chilling and sitting in a tube and floating the river and drinking alcohol. And that's
so
I'm a very simple
for the people that don't know about Texas and what we do. Yeah. There's the Guadalupe River right outside of New Braunfels, which is about halfway between San Antonio and Austin. It's right after Canyon Lake. Just gorgeous area in the hill country. The hill country created by
called River Road. If y'all look it up, River Road.
We stay at a place called KL Cliffside. That's Kilo Lima Cliffside. Look it up. I actually love it because they own 3 different campsites. The same.
KL on the river, KL Cliffside, and KL Cliffside 2.
And if you stay at one, you have the amenities of the others.
Yes.
So with tubing, which basically it's a giant inner tube, and you just sit in it and you float down the river and you pee yourself as you drink.
And then you rock the tube back and forth
to
flush.
Yep. But
with it, get used to not peeing all the time when you get out of the water.
With it being a huge tourist thing, they charge. Most places charge you just to get into the river.
A drop-in fee is what they call it. Yes.
So if you stay with at a KL, they will take you upriver, drop you off
by KL,
and then you get to float all the way back down to your campsite and get out, and it's included in your price and you don't have to pay the drop-in fees, which is awesome.
KL on the river and KL Cliffside 1 is a mile, not even up the road from KL Cliffside 2.
But still, depending on the flow, it's a 2 to 4 hour.
It's a 2-hour
float easily.
So it's
and
perfect.
You can go farther up if you want to.
But
float
for
longer.
Us with kids, if it was him and I, we'd be great doing a longer float. But with the kids, 2 hours is perfect. By the time they're getting antsy and want out of their tubes, we're back at our campsite. So we always drop in around 10. By the time we get to the campsite, it's 12 to 1. We get out, we eat, and then they can just go swimming, and then we can just drink. And
this river is fucking cold, but it feels so great on a hot day.
Oh my gosh!
Like when you first get in, and for dudes, once you get just below the waistline, you know what I'm talking about. You're like, nope.
Hey girls, you know what I mean? When you get below the toe line, and you're like,
so the trick is to just jump in, get all the way to the head, covered in water, and you're good.
Which head?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
And man, I was going to say something and I completely blanked out because I'm a goddamn.
I distract you with the word head.
Yep.
You know what's so funny?
I'm a goddamn professional.
Oh my god! Do you want to know something funny? We were talking about roadhead the other day. I went to lunch with my girlfriends and somehow got brought up like, oh, I got a spur of the moment thing, and I decided to give my husband roadhead, and a cop came up behind him and he's like, get up, the cop knows. And I was like, holy Mother Mary of God, I don't even remember the last time I even thought about roadhead. And I was
you know what the problem is
good
modern vehicles
who you are.
Modern vehicles make roadhead very, very difficult because they have the huge consoles between the front seats that stand really high. And
I'm just saying, good for you, my girlfriend. You know who you are. I'm not going to call you out.
Yeah, good for her boyfriend or husband or whatever it is.
But
good for him.
Good for you for bringing roadhead back to the whole married women's thing. So now, because now I'm like,
so you want to go for a drive?
I know. Now I think I have to give roadhead because I was like, this is one of the ones who's like,
wait, pause real quick. Just pause. Here's to you. You know who you are.
I would consider myself more of a hoe than my friends. And if she's giving roadhead and I'm not comfortable living that world.
Amen. So when we let's
up,
digress. When we went camping out on the river,
Roadhead.
we always get the same, if not the same spot. There's always within a spot or two in one direction or another.
Yes.
We always get the same
area
of the
area.
campsites.
Yeah.
It is tent
They're
camping.
bigger and they're nice.
But if you go 20 foot in the water, there's a spot where the limestone riverbed has been washed out, and you sit down in it and you're right at titty high.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can just sit there, bring an ice chest, set it on that limestone shelf, and it's about the size of a hot tub. And you can just sit there, let the water run over you, drink
really,
beer.
Technically, it like drops off into this pool and has like kind of a bowl shape. Well, what we do is we pile rocks around the other side because it's open to the river. We pile rocks around it so it slows the flow of water going out and it builds up higher. So then instead of nipple high, it's like here. It's really nice.
Well, her shoulder high is my nipple high. So, but and right next to that spot is a little rapid or chute or whatever you want to call it. So you get to watch the people come down that are floating while you're getting drunk.
Throw them jello shots.
We're also close enough to the big chute to where the kids can drag their chute or their tube up.
They walk
go
up,
down the chute and float back down to us. We can see them the entire time. They can run out all their energy. We can be lazy as fuck.
And the little pool is like a hot tub for us, but it's like a swimming pool for our youngest. So our youngest swims in that, and the two older boys walk up, drop in, float down. They go down multiple rapids. And then when they get past the rapid where we're sitting, they walk right back up because it gets shallow right after. And then they can walk back up and do it all over again. And they just do it all day while we drink.
Now, I love KL.
It's beautiful.
And I love the amenities.
But
there's one thing I don't like about
this year
is the fact that one campsite only comes with 2 people.
Oh, that's what your problem is.
So you have to pay with.
That's not what my problem is.
So you have to, for the kids, we have to pay for the kids separate.
Yes.
One before
Each
it used
day,
to be.
You have to pay each day as if it was a visitor fee, which it
adds up.
This is my thing. It cost us just as much for the boys to be there than it did for the campsite. The campsite for 2 days, 3 days, 2 nights was around $60. It cost about $60 just for the kids to be there.
Yeah,
that's really shitty.
Yeah, what is it like? It's like $40 or $50 a night per campsite, something like that.
Oh,
right?
well, yeah, because we got 2 campsites.
Yeah, we can always get 2 campsites. That way we can park our vehicles in one. And
we had a couple extra kids. Okay, I'll be honest.
And we had my coworker who we kind of adopted as our fourth child.
JD and I, that's 2 adults, and then for 1 campsite, and then our 14-year-old counts as an adult, and so does Denver, his friend. I don't know how he counts him as an adult, but whatever. So that's 2 for that campsite. Well, then I had our other 2 boys, and then a niece and a nephew with me. So that's 4 kids that we had to pay for 2 days or 2 nights, whatever. So yeah. So the campsites together wound up being over like around $60. It was like $60 to $70 after taxes and stuff. And then, it cost me $60 for the 4 kids for 2 days. And it was like, oh, well, that doubled the cost.
If you ever want to go to KL or generally any of the campsites along the Guadalupe River, Frio River, Comal River, things to think about bringing. Make sure you bring some citronella candles.
Okay, but that's the thing.
Something for bees.
Time out for just a second. The $120 for a 3-day trip, 2 nights in general is not bad.
Oh yeah, that's not bad at all.
That's why that wouldn't be my complaint. My complaint would be every year thus far, no problems, none. This year, bees were
bad,
terrible, absolutely terrible. And I know they're like endangered or whatever, so you can't kill them. My niece got stung in the middle of the night inside her tent. We went to get out of the tent and everything, and I had my arm like opening up the tent thing, and I got stung 3 times across my elbow. It took 8 days?
Yeah.
To recover. I'm very sensitive to bee stings, and a stinger was actually still left on my arm for longer than I thought. I didn't realize. I thought we got it out. I really did. So that would be my complaint, was the fact that this year was the first time I didn't really enjoy myself because those bees ruined it. And we had a netting but it wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it didn't.
we've always had bees in the past because bees exist
Not
in the
that
natural, but it wasn't
many.
like this.
Like-
Especially like if you leave your soda can there unattended for an hour, there's going to be bees all over it. That's every year.
Nature.
Yeah. But this year, when I cleared out the little kids' tent, which was my niece and our youngest sleeping in the tent, there was like a dozen bees in there, and getting them all out at 11 o'clock, midnight, something like that.
It was
It
awful.
sucked. This is the first year we've ever had that many bees, but there's always bees. But you always, if you're going to go camping down there, you want to bring multiple extension cords, because generally most of the sites come with one outlet,
which is 2 plugs. One
Yeah.
outlet, which is 2 plugs.
and so you want to bring multiple extension cords, multiple
Ours,
power strips. You definitely want to bring fans.
yeah.
Most of the rivers here are in
A
valleys
canal. Yeah, valley. Exactly.
to where
There's no wind.
it's completely void of wind and
Yeah.
airflow once you get off of the water itself.
The good thing is it's blocked. Ours was a very shaded site. We're up against a wall of the
Limestone.
of what did you call it? A valley. It was the wall of the valley where there's like bat caves and stuff, which I love. I love bats.
Yeah, as soon as
kill
dusk comes around,
mosquitoes.
yeah.
So we didn't have to deal with mosquitoes. We did have to deal with the bees. So we had this wall and then we had lots of tree coverage. So shade was in abundance, which is so great about the site. So I would put that in the positive site.
There are
and
some sites, if you stay at KL on the
Positive.
river, you definitely want to bring a canopy.
Yes, KL on the river. No, there's really no shade there. And but Cliffside, there's some. KL Cliffside 2,
There's a lot.
lots. But KL Cliffside 2, there's really no
There's no showers. You have to go up to the other KL site to get the showers.
Exactly.
I think it's like 75 cents for like 3 minutes or something like that. So
Yeah.
if you're doing multiple people, like I'll put two of the boys together where they're showering.
And I take the youngest boy with me.
Yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
you get in the water, you get wet, you get out of the water, you lather while somebody else is getting wet, and you rotate out.
Yeah, I take the baby.
You maximize that 75 cents because I'm a cheap
Exactly.
fuck.
Of course, now Nolan is not a baby anymore. I would take him with me. When we stayed at KL on the river, I had Nolan with me, but that was 3 years ago. So he's not a baby anymore. So now he wants to go to the boys' room and won't go with me. So I'm like, which is fine. You know what that means? I could pee by myself, shit by myself, and shower by myself. It is the best thing since sliced cheese. I'll tell you what. Now JD has to take him to the bathroom every time. I have to go to the boys' room, and I'm like, suck it. Boom.
So I don't know how other states are. Texas, we deal with drought a lot.
Yeah.
So there's on and off burn bans where you're not allowed to have any kind of open fires. Anything like that. So if you are going camping, make sure you get on whatever county you're going to go to. Check to see if they're in a burn ban. If they are not in a burn ban, you definitely want to bring your own firewood because they capitalize on that shit.
If they're not in a burn ban.
You can get a bundle, a foot across.
$8 to $10.
Yeah, it's
for a little bundle.
Pretty much one meal's worth of fire and not even enough left over to do s'mores afterwards.
Not even worth it. Not worth it.
Yeah.
Suck them.
So yeah, definitely bring your own firewood. Have it no longer than 12 to 14 inches in length because they have a lot of places have the built-in fire pits where they're
limited.
and
Exactly. Yes.
If not, definitely bring like a Coleman camp stove where it runs off the propane, or a really nice Blackstone 17-inch flat top griddle.
I'm never going to live down the fact that I bought him 2 freaking Blackstones. You know that wives of the men he have worked with have bitched me out like, yeah, thanks a lot for buying your husband 2 freaking Blackstones. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't.
But now I cook a lot. So
I wouldn't. You cook
for the amount of days off
I
cook a lot.
600% more than you did before.
Yeah.
Before it was like once every.
Yeah. So 600% is a huge
increase. Yeah. In fact,
like last night I made hibachi.
Yeah, he made hibachi last night. A couple of days ago, he made hamburgers.
Bacon, egg, and cheese smash burgers.
Yes, bacon, egg, and cheese smash burgers. How dare me just say hamburgers? That was so limiting of his skill level.
Oh yeah, it was delicious. See, last night it was steak, shrimp, rice, and vegetables.
Wait a minute. Do you smell that? Do you smell it? That's the carne asada I've been slow cooking all day for you. So stop your crap like it's some big deal. You can make smash burgers.
Hey, smash burgers are awesome.
They were really good, actually. The bacon, like, it was perfect. He even made my egg where the yolk was runny. I love it.
So
I'm fine.
We're gonna get right back on the rails
we're gonna
after this shot. Salud.
Salud.
So we have talked about what we've done this summer. We definitely, if you're just now tuning in or
not
you're tuning in
everything.
later, we want to know what you did this summer. That way it gives us ideas of stuff that we want to do. If you've done any trips, local, national, regional, anything like that, put it in the comments so we can check it out and make our plans.
And thank you.
Do it now. Fuck the please. Fuck the thank you. Do it.
Yeah. Do it. Do it now.
Do it now.
Get to the comments.
Speaking of which, make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give them permission to see your name.
We also went to the Doozeum in San Antonio with the boys. And this time I walked out without marital problems. High five. Bing! I did not wrap my arms around a dude thinking it was JD this time. I am awesome. I have a great, awesome wife who did not.
All right, so the Doozeum,
hug up on a dude.
The Doozeum, it's just a very interactive science museum for kids.
Museum, yes.
It has everything from how light and sound waves work to geology, geography. There's a spy section where you have to go and do different missions to move on and do these next things. It's all like critical thinking.
It is very hands-on, very critical.
But
thinking,
everything you're allowed to touch. Like there's nothing that says do not touch.
They even have like a music one and a virtual reality section. Like there's a lot.
Yeah, there's robotics and science. There's totally physics. There's all kinds of shit. So,
and I have to throw it out there. If you live in Texas and you got the pandemic EBT card because your school qualified for it and you got it, if you take your PEBT card and your driver's license and the names match, it's only $3 a person to get in.
Up to 4 people. If you're military, retired, or veteran, there's also a discount for that. It's in San Antonio. It's over by the zoo. Oh, yeah, we went to the zoo, too.
We did go to the zoo, but we also have membership at the zoo. So to us, it's like...
But the Doozeum is totally awesome. I have just as much fun as the kids do.
I do, too.
There's even, like, outside...
I was a linguist spy.
I like the bubbles.
I loved it.
Outside, they have these big pits.
I didn't get to do the bubbles. Y'all did that when I took Nolan in the bathroom, or because he got cut or something, and I had to take him to go to the first aid station. How dare you? I didn't even get to do the bubbles.
The bubbles were awesome. They have these big bubble things.
The huge bubbles. Like they could cover your body bubbles.
Yeah,
like,
gigantic bubbles. They have a bamboo garden that you can walk through. They have a gigantic jungle gym for the kids. So when you finally get to the point where you just want to sit down, you go out to the jungle gym, let the kids do their thing. And it's like 3 stories tall.
It's actually, there's a jungle gym and then there's a water station where they can change the canals.
Yeah,
so
divert flow
and float a boat down. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so educational, but you don't realize you're learning shit. It's so cool. But that's right next to it's
Nye.
Yeah, it's like a mile from the zoo. The San Antonio Zoo's been around since the 1890s.
Really?
Yes, it has.
Shut up. You are so smart. I love you.
I learned that on the train ride on
no, you listen to that dude?
Sometimes.
Oh, he makes really bad
So it is right next to Breckenridge Park. There was a guy, I can't remember his first name, but Breckenridge, actually, he was some super duper rich dude, and he donated all of this property in his will that got turned into a park, part of it's a park, some of it is a golf course, and the rest of it is what's now the San Antonio Zoo.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we also found out that I never knew it, but rhinoceroses are not herd animals, and the only time you see them close together is in a zoo environment. And the only time I've ever seen one, obviously, is in a zoo, and you always see like multiples together.
Yes. And did you know that they don't know why they cluster together in zoos? They don't know why they don't segregate like they do out
Yeah,
in
and
nature. Isn't that weird?
the reason that I know this is because I asked one of the zookeepers there. I'm like, hey, a bunch of crows is called a murder. Cows is called a herd.
Yeah.
What do you call a group of rhinoceroses in there? And she looked stupefied. Like I just asked her the square root of fucking something.
Of Batman symbol.
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
Yeah. Like
really funny.
And she's like, I don't know.
Because there's not herds.
Because they don't herd
They
in
don't herd.
natural. They're lone creatures in their natural environments. And what you see in the zoo is
she said
completely
that
different.
The only thing that they've ever classified it or even said is when there has been like stampedes and they just happen to be close together, and they called it a rumble.
Something like that, yeah.
Is what they called it because of the stampede and it shook the ground because they're so heavy. So they called it a rumble. So really, there is no saying, but they call them rumbles because they don't know because they don't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is a term. It's just that.
Did you know you're going to come on this fuckhead
person.
of a show and learn something today?
I know,
So
right?
you know, this is not okay. This is
And
not
the
what we're
fact
here
that
for.
I'm breaking my persona and everything.
This is not okay. I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
Are you in a better mood though, baby? I know you had a
oh man, I was in a
morning.
I was in a really shit mood earlier. Like, no, I was great, and then I wasn't, and I don't know what happened. It was just like
I was great, and then I wasn't. It's like Missouri's
I was good.
history class. I was not a part of America, and then I was.
Okay, so I have a coworker that transferred to Texas from Indiana, and he absolutely hates Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Hates it.
I've heard
this. But he's still here because he got a promotion by transferring down here. And I definitely get it. Money talks.
Yeah.
But he fucking hates Texas. And he's always talking shit about how proud Texans are. And I'm like, hey, so what's Indiana's origin story? He's like, I don't fucking know. I'm like, that's the difference between Texas in Indiana is everybody knows Texas's origin story. Even if you're not from Texas, you know Texas. Come and take it, which happened 35 minutes from where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
Remember the Alamo, which happened 2 hours from where we're at right now. Texas has a very crazy origin story. It's
not crazy, rich.
A very colorful background.
Yes. And
Texas
I would love to say that like us as a state are so proud that we get to the point where we aren't Hispanic, we aren't German, we aren't Irish, we're Texan.
Yeah.
So like I even have girlfriends
American by birth,
when
Texan
check,
by the grace of God.
What is your nationality? And they check other and put Texan, and I love it so much that I want to do it now.
My middle child, they started school last week and they're doing Texas history, and they did kind of an assessment test where there's no grade. It's just seeing what you know, where you stand on the history of Texas. And he goes, and they asked what the 6 flags were because Texas flew under 6 different nations' flags in its history. And he put 6 Flags is the theme park. But the first 6 Flags was started in right outside of Dallas.
I'm gonna guess
in Alvin, Texas.
Our middle child,
or not Alvin? Oh
it's our middle child.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Arlington. Thank you. In Arlington, Texas, is where the first 6 Flags came. Six Flags is all over the nation now.
Me again. I should not know that more than you.
Yeah, I said Alvin, and I knew it was wrong as soon as it came out of my mouth. But the theme park, 6 Flags over Texas. That was the first one, and it was named after the 6 flags that flew over Texas, which are the Texas state flag, the United States flag, Spain, France. It was the Confederacy, and what was the last one?
Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. There was a reason I forgot that.
Again.
There was a reason I forgot that one. That was on purpose.
That is 2. Stop it. That is 2 that I knew that he blinked on. This is a scary day, people. Very scary.
And now to think about, that theme park started in as just a single thing, because back in the day it was all these little singular theme parks.
So that was basically our
and they bought out
our
everything.
summer. The Doozium, the zoo, the haunted tours, floating the river. I look on the river. Amazing experience. We even made friends, river friends.
Oh, yeah,
sharing
single-serving
Jello
friends.
shots. It was so much fun. But camping, we wound up leaving the night early because the bees. They totally ruined our trip. And I hate to say it, but they did. They ruined our trip.
It was just, I think we were just hot and miserable. And
actually, I didn't even care about that because I'm always cold. So I didn't mind the heat. I think you're the only one who did because you're like a diva and you're used to having JD up until this year would have an AC unit in our tent.
That was for everybody.
Who's everybody? I don't need that. I'm fine with
really
fans.
Says the woman who sleeps with 17 fucking fans in the bedroom.
That's in our bedroom because the AC
blows
the
directly
noise,
on you.
I like the noise with
the
the
AC
fan.
blows
like
directly on you, and you still need the fans.
That the fan creates and the circulation, which I get with the
okay,
fan
so if you have
tent.
your white noise machine on, do we get to turn all the fans off?
Most of them.
I call bullshit.
I need circulation. The sound machine does not give me the air circulation. Stop your shit.
Let's do this last little, and then we're gonna talk about the moral of today's story.
He's starting a fight right here on live.
I didn't realize
podcast.
that this episode was gonna have a moral.
Oh no.
And
no. The more you know.
No, I thought about it along the way, and we opened up with discussing what our plans were going to be, and it was going to be this gigantic, huge vacation with all this stuff
in multiple states and like craziness.
We stayed regional, and it was just as good. We had just as many memories.
We had a lot of fun.
So, and when things don't go your way, God closes the door and then he kicks you in the ass. I'm pretty sure how that goes, right?
No, it's not. I mean, that's how it goes, but that's not how the saying goes. So next year, we have to get our passports. So we're gonna give you a backstory on this. Yes, we're gonna have to get passports. We were going to lunch in Corpus. The restaurant we had planned out didn't work. They were closed already, or actually,
no,
busy.
they were busy as fuck.
So we decided to try something new and went to a German restaurant. While we were there, we're talking to the kids about their goals. Like, what country do you want to visit? And we realized that there was a very specific location that was kind of on everybody's list, which was like England, Ireland, Scotland, like that generalized area.
No, it was Ireland specifically.
It was pretty specifically Ireland, but Ireland, England, and actually we kind of have an in for JD's family in Ireland. So we've been discussing that for a while now. So we told the boys, so you do realize that if we afford to go to Ireland? Yes, but it would require pretty significant sacrifice on everybody's part as far as between now and next summer, not eating out as often, not doing all these daycations like we usually do through the year.
Living on a Dave Ramsey budget.
Exactly.
And if you know who that is, then good for you. Exactly. Don't listen to him. He's usually full of shit.
We would have to live on a pretty strict budget. The boys all agreed they were on board. So as of right now.
So next year for our summer, we want to go to Ireland and England. And then the following year, we want to do France and Germany.
Yes.
We talked about doing
all of it.
A big European tour over an 8-day thing. But it's just we want to be able to appreciate what we're seeing without being rushed from site to site to site. So we're only going to do 2 countries at a time.
If we did it that way, we'd only be able to do like 2 days in each location, which I don't know.
You can't. You just can't appreciate it.
You can't. There's no way to see everything you want to see. Like, we want to tour a castle in Ireland. We want to go to London, England. There's so much.
I want to get kicked out of so many pubs overseas.
And we have a teenager who can watch our younger boys while we get for schnooking at a friggin' bar every night in Ireland. And we get to visit JD's family in Ireland, which I'm sorry, I don't want to rush that. I want to get to know them And
yeah, I want to see where my namesake comes from.
And the town, I don't know if I've said this on the show yet, but the town next to the town where his family originated from, the most common last name is Nolan, which is what we named our youngest kid just by chance.
So
we didn't know it at the time.
So with all this being said, if you've been to Ireland, you've visited, if you've been to England and visited, reach out to us, please. We don't want the stupid touristy bullshit that every
we want to see
agency is going to sell you. We want to actually experience it.
Honestly, we're talking about taking the train through Ireland into England just so we can see the countryside.
No. That's our next trip from France over, because you can't take a train from Ireland to England.
Oh, that's right. Through France. We want to take a train through
France to Belgium to Germany.
Sorry, we want to take a train through France. But that's next year, not this year.
Yeah. So if you've been to those countries, please reach out. We want to experience the actual country. We don't want to experience the tourist traps and the same crap that every travel agency is going to sell you.
It's spending probably 7 to 10 days.
Probably 8 days. Yeah, probably about 8 days because of travel time and the amount of vacation that we get for our jobs. And well, you get a lot more than I do, but
yes,
you get a lot more than I do. So the amount of vacation I get through my job,
my new job, which I will have by then, 24 days a year. Boom.
Bullshit,
and
right?
Through the year, if I have to take time off for like a doctor's appointment or the kids get sick, I can adjust my hours through the week. So that those 24 days, I'm going to milk the mother shit out of that. I'm so excited.
I'm pretty amped though. You know, I haven't been overseas since I was in the military. She's never been overseas. So
I've never even had a passport. I'm really excited about it.
I've never had a passport because when I traveled overseas, my military ID was my passport. So
and we've discussed this, like, you know what? We have talked about this for years, how kids were never going to limit us experiencing life and traveling and stuff. But our oldest is 14 and we've barely left the state. We've never left the country. So it was one of those things that was like, this is something I've always wanted to do. JD has seen the world. He's been in the military. I haven't. I want to see the world. And I think that I want my kids to experience that because I think they'll have a bigger appreciation for like the big picture as far as the world is concerned and different like dynamics and livelihoods and incomes if they can see people from other countries living on basically nothing.
And another cool thing is all of our kids
takes it for granted.
Okay, let's be honest. I'm going to be blunt with you guys. America is hated by everybody.
They really are.
Every country hates America. They love our money. They love our generosity, but they hate us because Americans in general are smug, arrogant,
because they don't take the chance
of shit
or the time to even get to know other cultures.
So each one of our kids is going to be doing pseudo homework projects as far as learning customs, learning greetings, and a little bit of the language of each place we're going. We're getting Rosetta Stone so where they can all learn.
We told all of the boys they have to pick an area that we're going to be traveling each summer because now they're like, okay, well, if this works out next year, we want to do this. Okay. Daniel wants to learn German. So bad.
He has his alter ego of Schneidel or whatever the fuck it was.
Schneider. But we're not going to Germany this year. We're going to be going to Germany not even the following year. The following year, we're going to Hawaii. So like 3 years from now, we're going to go to freaking Germany.
So hey, we're not sponsored by Rosetta Stone, but if you've ever been interested in learning any other languages, if you do the lifetime thing, it's $179 for unlimited access to 25 languages. Which I just did. No, I just did the research on it. I thought that was super cool.
That we want them to learn. Okay, yes, even though they speak English, they have dialect. They have different like mannerisms. They have different like things that they say that mean other things.
It's not a garage.
And
it's a car park. It's not a trunk.
So we want them to like do research on the different areas. So we're like basically telling, okay, Daniel, you're going to do this part. No, Daniel, you're going to do this part. No, you're going to do this part. So that they can dive in and they're going to be our correspondents in that specific area. So then it literally engulfs them in that history and it gives them that appreciation for that area of the world.
See, and I think putting an actual time frame on a trip versus saying one day we're gonna do this.
Exactly.
Makes it more real.
It's so real.
A dream or a goal is just a dream with a time frame.
Yeah, I'm so
we're actually
excited.
setting a date for it, not specific date, but a time. Like, okay, next July we are doing this.
I'm so excited.
I think it makes it a lot more real. So again, if you've been to Ireland, if you've been to England, please reach out to us and give us some of the good so we can move forward. But with that, we need to wrap it up for this evening. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back this week and every week following for the immediate future until we take another break for the holidays. And then season 3 comes around. Again, thank you to 5x5 Brewing to help make this possible. You can check out all of our old episodes on YouTube and any of your favorite podcasting platforms.
And let me just say, so happy to see y'all again.
So yeah, it is great to be back.
It's so good to be back.
You all know how it feels when you get back from a vacation. You're like, oh, I'm glad to be home.
I like JD a lot more when I drink, so this is really going to work out.
I like her when she likes me a lot more when I drink. So with that, if y'all are out and about driving, don't drink. If you're out drinking, don't drive. Always find yourself a safe ride home, regardless where you're at, even if you're at your home.
It might not be the girl next to you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, sober up before you make that decision. You'll thank me later. But with that, thank you, y'all. Have a